live. Okay. So you now know how to factor quadratic trinomials where the a is equal to 1. Because all the ones I've given you, it says y equals x squared. Right? It doesn't say y equals 2x squared. It does for graphing. I've given you those for graphing. But I haven't given them to you for factoring, right? Remember that? So for factoring, all you've done was y equals x squared plus bx plus c, right? Where the a is actually a hidden 1 in front of the x squared. Now we're talking about ones where the a is not equal to 1, meaning it could be y equals 2x squared, or y equals 3x squared, or 4x squared, or 5x squared, or 6x squared. And that is a different ball of wax than what you've been doing. It's definitely, you're moving into the big time of algebraic factoring. This is not as easy as the other stuff, right? And so it's not horrible, it's just it takes longer, and a lot of people basically use what's called the guess and check method for this, okay? And so this guess and check method, where's my notebook? There it is. The guess and check method is kind of the way I'm going to teach you today. And I hope I have time. So first of all, the first problem we're going to do is that, can you see that? Where am I? Yeah, you can. Okay. So 6x squared plus 19x plus 10. Okay. Now, before I had you immediately, I said, okay, it's a quadratic trinomial, so you immediately put your parentheses, right? Now notice it's not an equal sign. I'm not asking you to find the zeros. All we're doing is practicing factoring. So you're going to have parenthesis, 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 right? Now, the thing is, the first two things, right, have to equal this. Well, what's the difference? Before, it was just x and x. What would x times x equal? X squared. This is 6x squared. So suddenly, I have to use factors of 6 in here, in the first thing. And that is what's going to throw everything off. It will no longer be two numbers that multiply to equal this and add to equal this. That won't work. Because those two numbers will interact with this number in front of the x. Does that make sense? So it's harder. And so you're going to have to get a system in place and sort of learn the system. So what are my factors of 6? Okay, so I could do 6 times 1 or 2 times 3, right? So I'm going to just have to take a guess. I'm going to say 6x and then x, okay? That equals 6x squared. Now, what do I know about these last two numbers? These last two numbers here. They will multiply to equal what?
The last number?
Yeah. We do know that that's still going to be the same. The factors of 10 are what are going to go here, right? That's still true. It's just that those factors are not going to add up to this. That's the big thing. The middle number is what screws us up, right? So what are our factors of 10? Factors of 10. What would they be? So 1 times 10 or 2 times 5, right? Would you agree with me? Now, is there any chance we could deal with any negatives in here?
There are no negatives.
There are no negatives, so we don't have to worry about negative numbers at all. That's helpful. So that's not so bad. We have 2 options here and we have 2 options here. The only thing is, we technically have 4 options here. Because these numbers have numbers, the x's have numbers in front of them, and often those numbers are different. Place matters, location. It could be 1 times 10, but it could be 10 times 1, because it's how those outside and insides interact with each other, right? So technically, other factors would be 10 times 1 or 5 times 2. I've got to try all of them, right? Do you see my point? All right, so let's try. So we know 1 times 10. So 1 and 10, that's a possibility, and it has to equal 19. So we are going to quickly do outside plus inside with our fingers, right? Right? And so 60x plus 1x is 61x. We're way off, right? So we know it is not this. We know it's not that. It's a great idea to write these down and then cross them out as you go, right? Then you don't mess up. Okay, let's try 6x plus 1 times, 6x x. So we'll say, we'll do 10 and 1 plus 1. I just reversed it, right? So suddenly I have 6x plus 10x. That's 16x. Oh, I'm close, but not right there, right? Do you see what I'm doing? Everybody get it? 6x plus 10x is 16x. Okay, I know that one doesn't work. So then I'm going to try again. 6x plus 2 times x plus 5. Okay? So 6x plus 5 is what?
11.
30x.
Oh, sorry.
Right? Plus 2x is 32x, not 19. So it's definitely not that one. Let's try flipping them. So put the 5 first. Right? Do you see how helpful it is to have these so you can cross them out as you go through them because you're guessing, you know? So we got one more. 6x plus 5 times x plus 2. Let's try that. 12, oh, we're getting close. 12x plus 5x, oh, 17x. So it's none of those. What does that mean? We have to try our other factors of 6, which are 2 and 3. Right? Now, I'm taking it to the extreme. I'm actually choosing to have it solved later on because I want you to see the worst case scenario. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times you'll get lucky within the first 4. You know what I mean? But sometimes you don't. So suddenly, okay, so I've got to try it now with my 2x and my 3x. Now notice I don't have to switch the 6x and the x. I don't have to do that. Because just by switching the last numbers, I'm doing that. Does that make sense? So it's only the last numbers that have to be switched. So those are still the ones I have to use. I have to use 1 times 10, 2 times 5, 10 times 1, or 5 times 2. So let's try it. So plus 1 plus 10. Let's try it. 20x plus 3x is 23x. Okay, it's definitely not that one. Nope. Okay, let's try it in reverse. 2x plus 10, 3x plus 1. We have 2x plus 30x is 32x. Definitely not that one, right? Now let's try 2x plus 2 times 3x plus 5. Is that right? Let's try it. 10x plus 6x. 10x plus 6x is 16x. Wow, look at that. I didn't even mean to have the answer be the very last possible one, but it's got to be, right? 2x, 3x. Where am I? 5 and 2 plus 5.
So these ones take
Plus
very,
2.
very long.
They take a lot longer. Do you see why? You see? Now, they're not always going to be this hard. And I'll do another one. I'll show you in a minute. So 4x plus 15x. 15 plus 4 is... Ah! If I had just started with that one. But the truth is, I might have. You know what I mean? You might just luck out the very first time you try one. Now, this one was a little bit hard because it had a lot of it had 2 different possibilities for 6 for the first number, and 4 different possibilities technically for the last number, right? So that was a little hard. But if I had something like this, 2x squared. Oh wait, I can't. I don't know if I can make these up in my head. Let me just look at these. Sure. Let me try this one. Let's try this one. 7x squared plus 17x plus 6. All right. Now, factors of 7. 7 times 1, right? So already I no longer have to do 2 of these. Do you see what I'm saying? Right? And so we got 7 times 1, so 7x and then x. That's awesome. Now 6, we have 1 times 6, we have 6 times 1, we have 2 times 3, and we have 3 times 2, right? But that's it. We just have to go through those 4, and we might luck out.
Will you ever get a number like 130?
You mean like here?
Mm-hmm.
So do you have to have factors of that?
A lot.
Maybe, yeah, but not, I won't do it. I don't really care about that. I care that you understand the process, right? It would take longer to do that, you
But
know.
can you do them in your head super quick rather than writing them all out? Like,
Well, you can do this. You could say, if you write it like this, think about it like this. If that's gonna go here, right? And this is gonna go here, you could say, okay, 42x plus 1x is 43x. So it's a good question. So 7x plus 6x. So that's, what is that, 13x? It's gotta be 17, okay. So, so outside, right? 21x plus 2x is 23x, right? 14x plus 3x is 17x. Does that make sense? But do you see how writing these down helps a lot? If you don't write these down, I promise you, you'll spend about 20 minutes on every problem. Because you won't remember which one you just tried. And then you will try it again. And then you will try another one, and then you can't remember if you tried the other one again, right? So you'll do that one again. And you'll do them all, except the right answer, 10 times, right? When you only had to do 4 of them, right? So writing those out, does that make sense though? Outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, right? So, oh God, okay. So I want you to try these.
how many do you have to do?
Let me just turn this off.